I will tell you right now, I do not recognize our president. I think that we are an occupied nation. I think that a foreign country has occupied our government. And we are seeing now that this president of the United States of America is being influenced by a foreign government. And MAGA, let me tell you right now, MAGA is dead. It is deader than dead, and Americans are furious. We do not recognize President Donald J. Trump anymore.
There is a very interesting shift taking place as Trump rapidly ramps up his authoritarianism, and that is white people flipping the switch from capitulation to resistance. Let me explain what I mean. Since the end of World War II, the white community in America has enjoyed unprecedented wealth and opportunity as a result of a globalized American empire. And because of that, we have been less likely to buck against the system, even when we know that system is unjust, because the system has rewarded us so well. That's called capitulation. And these are broad brushstrokes here. I'm speaking very generally. The black community, on the other hand, because they have always been a target of the system, from slavery to Jim Crow to the war on drugs, they have always maintained a posture of resistance. And again, there are plenty of exceptions on both sides here. But what's interesting to see now is more and more white people, first of all, waking up, and secondly, taking risks to resist the Trump regime, taking to the streets in protest, directly confronting ICE officers, resigning positions of authority, and in our case...
Alright guys, welcome back to this channel, and I hope you are all doing good. What really happens when one group demands answers and the other chooses silence? Right now, we have a heated conversation that is unfolding, and it's sparking strong reactions on all sides. Some voices are asking, why aren't black Americans speaking up? But the response coming back is just as powerful. Maybe it's time to look in the mirror. Let me roll these clips. I'll be coming back with more commentaries. And in case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
Making a documentary that could cause us to get our tails sewed off or worse. But it's worth it, these acts of resistance. Jesus said it like this: what does it profit a man to gain the whole world yet lose his soul? Because we cannot be people any longer who go along with wicked systems just because they benefit us.
And so the American people are tired of this administration already. They are tired of endless wars, tired of increased costs, tired of chaos, tired of the corruption. This is the most corrupt administration we have ever seen in America. And the MAGA Republicans know it. They know it. And so they're so unpopular that the only way they can win in November is kick millions of people they don't like.
Trump represents white safety. He makes white people feel like he's going to protect them from all the others. Unfortunately, true. I naively thought there was no way in hell he was ever going to make it back into office again. I thought that we had largely turned a corner in this country where it was not that bad. But what I learned here is that we should never underestimate the power of fear. Because that is exactly how the right, especially Trump, motivates people, through fear. And sadly, it's been that way as long as I can remember. I used to live in East Texas, and I had this fishing buddy that I used to go out to his place, and we would fish and just shoot the shit about anything. One day, out of nowhere, he told me this story about this cabin that his family owns that they are all going to retreat to one day whenever the black people take over and try and enslave the white people. Because that's what his family taught him over time, that black people were eventually going to outbreed us, and then they were going to want to get some payback. And I started laughing at this, thinking he's just fucking with me. But then his face turned bright red, and he's like, I'm being serious. He said, you might think it's funny now, but you won't think it's so funny whenever they've got you working the fields. Which only got me laughing harder, and it made him even madder. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a fishing trip where we're supposed to be quiet and just fishing and relaxing. But he was so mad. He had this whole story built up in his head, and he's been worried about it for a long time. And I thought surely people like this could not be the norm in this country. But if you have somebody who is running for office who is feeding into that fear that you already have, that makes it all the more powerful. He tells them things like, transgender illegals are streaming across our open borders trying to break into our homes and take them over, floor and jiggle their genitals in our faces. And the majority of the people that voted for him were uneducated people that were about this tone. So they hear all this nonsense and they're like, well, that's gotta be true, because why else would he say it? He's just saying what I always thought would happen. And that fear turns into anger, that anger turns into hate, and then all of a sudden they're out voting because they're so full of hatred. But they'll tell you it's not hatred. They'll say that they're voting out of love. But not a love of all people, just the people that they think that this country is their birthright. So when Trump comes along and says, I alone can fix this, they're like, oh shit. They've definitely got to vote for the only guy who can fix this, because this absolutely needs to be fixed. This problem that only exists in their minds. And the only way to fix this is education, but they even think that that's toxic, because the right has taught them that education is indoctrination. So they don't want to get too educated, because that might turn them into a liberal, which will make them want to give the country away to people who don't look like them. I don't know, man. I think the only thing that can save us now is if we have another pandemic come through that they don't trust and they just do the opposite of, and it just wipes them out. I just can't see reversing 40 to 50 years of dumbing down in this country. These people are completely brainwashed. But maybe I'm wrong. I really hope that I am.
Oh boy, the saga of the white.
So right now we have tensions rising as a new wave of reactions unfolds across the social media and public discourse. And that is why I decided to make this video. We are here to break down this growing frustration among some white Americans who are questioning the silence of black Americans on key national and global issues. But the response they are getting is not what they expected. Black Americans are pushing back firmly, urging accountability and telling critics to reflect on history, past actions, and long-standing systemic dynamics. This conversation is here to dive deep into the clash of perspectives, the emotions driving both sides, and the broader implications for race relations today. So, is this a moment of misunderstanding or a deeper shift in how communities engage with each other? Just watch as we continue unpacking the reactions, the context, and the powerful responses shaping the debate. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real conversations and in-depth breakdowns. Let's get into the remaining clips. I'll be back.
We all know, based on polling data that is currently available, Donald Trump has done a lot of damage, not just to his brand of MAGA, but also to the Republican Party and the conservative movement in general. But what's happening here in the United States with public backlash against conservatives is nothing compared to what's happening around the globe. According to a new report from The Economist, apparently Donald Trump's brand of populist conservatism has proven to be so toxic here in the United States that it's actually hurting the political chances of conservatives around the planet, because people in those other countries are looking at American conservatives and saying, you know what? I actually don't want that to happen in my country. So let me read you this. As The Economist reports, Trump has had few clear wins and many chaotic policy turns. Much energy has been devoted to targeting domestic political enemies for grievances that do not resonate outside America. Any benefit Mr. Trump might have given right-wing parties is being overshadowed by an expansionist and aggressive political nationalism. America First is
Do the white people complaining about how evil Donald Trump is for what he just did in Venezuela realize that the No Kings protest and everything that you feared Donald Trump would become is exactly what Maduro was? Does that comprehend? Does that calculate in your mind? Because if not, please leave. Please go to Venezuela, because you're bringing the average IQ down in this country.
You know why politics feels so exhausting these days? Why it feels like you're getting whiplash every 24 to 48 hours? It's because the Trump presidency years, honestly, are probably arguably the first time when you were told to focus on literally every single thing he does on social media, online, in real life, with zero breaks whatsoever. Now, you might say maybe that was starting to begin and be a thing in the Obama years, but back then the mainstream media was not as invested in sowing complete and total division as they are today. In the Biden years, we know that Biden got a pass by the mainstream media at different different topic for a different day. But the fact of the matter is, on the right side of the aisle, many individuals, myself included, have said repeatedly, when there are things Trump does we disagree with, we will call him out on it, we will condemn it, and we will move forward, but not throw the baby out with the bathwater. On the left side of the aisle, they don't operate that way. They literally say vote blue no matter who, and they mean it. So there is zero pretext of objectivity in that case. But the fact of the matter is, now 24/7, you are told, wake up in the morning, refresh social media, figure out what the new topic or the new outrage deal is, tell individuals why you love it and why you hate it, and if you love it, there will be consequences. If you hate it, there will be consequences. Some on your side will attack you, some will defend you. It just feels completely chaotic 24/7, and that's because no one was ever intended to live life this way. You do not have to have an instant rapid reaction to every single thing that happens on social media. That's not the way life should be. And if you feel yourself starting to succumb to this, it is your duty to step away from it and realize it is okay to not have an instant public reaction to everything. And the more we normalize that kind of behavior and that kind of outlook, the better. So those are my thoughts. I'm curious what yours might be.
So, across the social media and public discussions, frustration is building. There is a growing sentiment among some commentators who feel that silence from Black Americans on certain issues is noticeable and even intentional. For them, that silence raises questions. Is it disengagement? Is it protest? Or is it something deeper? But here is where the conversation takes a sharp turn. Many Black voices are responding, not with the explanations, but with perspective. Instead of reacting directly to the criticism, they are shifting the focus, pointing to history, to long-standing inequalities, and to moments when their own concerns were ignored or dismissed. The message: accountability is not one-sided. Yes, so this is not just about silence. It is about expectations. Who is expected to speak, when, and why? For decades, conversations around race in America have been shaped by unequal power dynamics, different lived experiences, and deeply rooted mistrust. So when one group demands a response, another may see that demand through a completely different lens. Online, the reactions are intense. Some users express anger, feeling ignored or shut out of the conversation. Others are arguing that silence itself can be a form of communication, a decision to step back, a decision to observe, or even to refuse participation in a narrative they don't control. And in between, there are voices calling for understanding, asking whether this moment could be an opportunity to listen rather than react. What we are seeing may actually signal a shift. Instead of responding to every demand or expectation, some communities are choosing when and if they engage. That shift challenges long-standing assumptions about who leads conversations and who follows. And for many, that change feels uncomfortable. And at the heart of all this is a simple but difficult question: who gets to set the terms of the conversation? Is silence a problem that needs to be fixed, or is it a message in itself, one that is being misunderstood? This conversation is far from over, and like most complex issues, it does not have a single easy answer. What do you think? Is silence speaking louder than words, or is something being lost in translation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into the conversations that is shaping our world today, just make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video, and this video it's meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed until the next one.